This week on Waxing the Porpoise, G-Baby and the usual suspect Steve welcome back special guest Staring Jon, a man whose gaze could freeze an inferno and is rivaled only by the Penance Stare. Together we'll unravel the web that is Spectre, the penultimate entry of Daniel Craig's Bond from 2015. Join us as we examine the convoluted plot that will leave you more than a little banjaxed, christen the return of Monica Bellucci with an oath of fealty to her dumper, and opine about a brighter future that includes a sequel to Blue Streak. Be warned as we dance with shadows and sip from the chalice of treachery, there's no telling who will emerge unshaken or stirred, or if our dear porpoises will ever be the same again. Let's wax this phantasmagorical porpoise.
Chase, don't do that.
You see, we working on his brow chakra. We're just in back of the crown chakra.
We will do it live. Fuck it. I'll write it. What episode? We're on 58. Nice.
Oh, fucking bitch.
You guys ready?
Yep.
Reggie.
Let's do it. All right. Welcome back to Waxing the Porpoise. We are back again. Episode 58 now. We are joined together to discuss the penultimate. I was right about that last episode, right? The
Yes.
penultimate entry in our Craig era Bond retrospective, Spectre from 2015, directed once again by Sam Mendes, going back to back from Skyfall to Spectre. Tonight, you've got myself, Jim G. Baby.
You know what? I'm about to say it. I don't care that you broke your elbow.
And of course, to my virtual right, we have the usual suspect, Steve.
The guy that I like is your friend Dave.
Dave!
Yeah.
Fudge!
What is that from?
That's a pretty deep cut from Slackers. We were just talking about.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't
Cool
remember that.
Ethan, Jason Schwartzman.
Yeah.
He's talking to the chick
Yeah.
that he's got the crush on. And that's when she drops the bomb like, yeah, I actually like your friend, Dave. And he just
okay.
doesn't know how to, like, his facial, like his physical comedy in that film is pretty awesome too. He's just like plays a real squirrely character. But yeah, he's just like fudge. Like that's like his, oh man. And then of course, joining us on this fantastic Bond voyage, returning champ, we have Staring Jon.
It's always been me, the author of all your pain.
How's it going, friend?
You. Oh man, that's a good pull. That's one of my. I have that quote written down. That's one of my favorite ones from it.
Yeah, that's one of the. There's a couple bright spots in this film for me, and that's one of them. But and his character, because I just think he's a great actor, Christoph Waltz. But yeah, so we're getting into Spectre this eve. Steve's never seen this one. I have. I think you and I, John, both watched this. We were pretty fucking hyped on this in 2015 in the theater.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Good old Tinseltown. This one, at this point, I was like pretty into Bond, and I had started going back. Like, I've never done a huge deep dive into like the old back catalog, but like
You really should, dude.
I know I should. There's so much, even though I am like a self-professed movie buff and stuff, there's still so much that I haven't, good shit that I haven't seen that's a travesty. But I did start going back. I watched a couple of the Roger Moores, and I watched the one with Chris Walken, and I can't remember the model who was like the main villain gal by his side. I can't remember her name, but that one was it was entertaining, but still, like the Roger Moore stuff, I was not really digging. But I watched the Timothy Dalton ones for the first time, like Living Daylights, and then License to Kill after that.
Yep.
Which I really dug. I like those a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was coming into this on a high from Skyfall. Like, well,
Totally.
really the whole series, like, you know, it was building, and Skyfall was like huge. And when I found out too that Sam Mendes, the same guy, brainchild behind Skyfall, was doing this one. I mean, expectations were super high. What about you?
Oh yeah, and when you find out who was playing the villain, right? Like it was definitely it was like, oh shit, here we go. This is gonna be Skyfall 2.0.
Yeah, because I mean, Christoph Waltz was coming hot off the heels of Django
and Inglourious Bastards, right?
Glorious Bastards. So he's like that immediately shot him up to like top like A tier, excellent actor. So yeah, like for him to come in and be like the foil to Daniel Craig sounded like can't miss. But
right.
What about you, Steve? Like some of these newer ones, like were you just never interested enough to go check them out, or like that's just not for me? Or
no, never really had much of an interest. And since we've been watching them, I kind of had really high expectations going into this one too, because Javier Bardem in the last one, him in No Country for Old Men is one of my favorite villains of all time. And Christoph Waltz in Inglourious Bastards is also one of my favorite movie villains of all time. Yep. So yeah, coming off of very tough to beat. And even in Django, he's just a great actor. But so coming into this, coming off of Skyfall, same director, a possibly even better villain, my expectations were pretty high.
Yeah. Well, I guess let's get it out of the way. What did you think of this one? This is a yay or nay?
I was pretty disappointed. I think because my expectations were so high.
Yeah.
This should have been so much better than it was. If I have to give it a pass or fail, I would say pass, because there were a lot of parts of it I enjoyed. I like the directing. The cinematography was cool. The acting I thought was solid. I just kind of thought the storyline was really fucking dumb. I didn't really like the way they tied everything together. It seemed kind of weak. I feel like Judi Dench's sort of start to the movie was kind of cornball. And then the big reveal that we get to later in the movie, I audibly out loud groaned like, oh God, is this where they're going with this? This is so... Yeah. This is Austin Powers like a spoof of what Austin Powers makes fun of about these movies come to life.
Dude, that's funny you bring up Austin Powers. I'm sure that'll come up later in our discussion. I mean, it's like a caricature of itself in this film. It was
kind of trope heavy.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, it some of the plot ties, it's like directly from Goldfinger, the third Austin Powers, which I only saw once, I think, but I still remembered. I was like, wait, didn't they do this in fucking Austin Powers?
Well, and also
they're brothers, and like, oh man, I was like, yeah, I was.
So I want to hear what you guys think, but the first few scenes of this movie, I was thinking, I've seen this movie before. This is very similar to Casino Royale, like. The opening scene, he's in a foreign country, he kills the person he's there, creates a bunch of destruction, and then I swear to God, in the next scene, it's like the newspaper flopping down like, Bond, you're in a lot of trouble here. Like, okay.
It is eerily similar to the first one, yeah.
Well, and then he goes to second mission location, and in Casino Royale, he bangs the gal whose husband he's about to kill. And then in this one, he bangs the gal of the husband he just killed. And it's like, can we please maybe mix it up a little bit?
Hey, consistency is key, dude. You gotta be, you know what I mean?
Yeah. This one had your gal, Monica Bellucci, in it.
I was just about to say, dude, like, because I'll give it a pass on that front because, yeah, this is Spectre, the return of Monica Bellucci's dumper. Like,
Well, and they front load, in both of these movies, they kind of front load the less attractive Bond gal up front. Not less attractive, but older, we'll say.
Dude, yes. Monica Bellucci.
That's the entree. I mean, I feel like in both movies, the gal he gets with later is significantly more attractive.
That's a coin flip for me, but
okay.
I give a slight edge, like 55-45 to Monica Bellucci, just because, dude, she ages like fine wine, dude. Like, it's insane. Like I don't know how old she is right here, but she's got to be in like her 50s.
67.
Is it?
No.
Oh, okay. Plus, that's kind of like an older gal. Like, she's got probably some dope tricks up her sleeve, like.
Hey, everyone likes a different flavor ice cream.
Variety is the spice of life. No, yeah, I loved that she was in this, and like, so I'll give him a pass on that one. But yeah, I didn't think about that, but when you say it, it's like right in your face. It is very similar kind of setup. Like,
yeah, I never put that together either. That was crazy.
He goes rogue, gets.
I swear there was even a newspaper drop scene. Like,
yeah, like
how am I going to explain this? Like, what?
That's crazy. I've never put that. I've watched all of these movies hella times, and I don't know why. I've never realized that.
Might be one of those things like you're so like immersed and like into the world that you need like an outsider that's got fresh, kind of perspective coming into it. It's like, oh shit, that's
cynical asshole autism. So what did you guys say?
That was the plan, to give you a boner, and you got one.
So
that's
if you guys,
I was like, oh yeah, Bellucci's in this.
If this was highly anticipated for you guys and you saw it in theaters, I'm wondering what your first thoughts were when you saw it, and if they've changed over time.
Why don't you start us out, John?
Yeah, I drank the Kool-Aid. I thought I loved it. I was like, upon first watching theater, I was like, yep, it was a little long. Coming out of the movie, I remember being like, that wasn't as good as Skyfall. Like, I had that feeling immediately, but I was like, it was a little long in some spots, but it was fucking great. There was a lot of pieces I liked for sure.
I think I remember that now too, getting out of it, and I was like really fucking down on it, and I was kind of like inside, I was a little mad that you weren't right there with me. Like, yeah, it was definitely like a 70-30, like you were like up there, and I was like down in the dumps on it, like bumming pretty hard. Yeah, I remember that now. And I was like, why are you giving this one a pass? Fuck that, dude. I was not stoked. It was similar to, I'll probably catch a lot of shit for this. I remember watching The Lord of the Rings 2, The Two Towers, in theater. And fuck, I was probably 17 that came out. 15, 16, 17. And I loved the first new Lord of the Rings from 2001 or whatever. I thought it was sick. It was super dope. So I was jacked to go watch Two Towers. And I don't know, man. Everyone loves it. Super highly rated. At the end of it, people stood up and gave it a fucking standing ovation. I was so mad, like at everyone around me. I was like, sit down. Why are you doing? I thought that movie sucked. I was so let down. Yeah. It was garbage.
I was a little bit younger, and I have a little bit more of a different tie to them because those all came out like Q4. Those were like the holiday Christmas movies release in theaters, right? Yeah. And then me and my sister, it's like we went to the movies with my grandma all the time. So I remember going to watch almost all of the Lord of the Rings with her in the theater. So I like them a lot, but I think it's because more of that memory and that time and experience around it as opposed to the actual movie. But
gotcha. Yeah, you got a heavy vibe and nostalgia tied to it. Right. I went in thinking was expecting to get my fucking socks blown off, and I got like super stoned, this is
got all dressed up.
Yeah. But so similarly with Spectre, I was just completely fucking let down, and it lost me pretty early. I will say it lost me right about the introduction of Batista and the car chase, the prolonged car chase scene. I'd say that early, because up until then I was like, this is a dope intro. Day of the Dead, that tracking or that one shot. I guess it was actually put together in 3 shots, but the way it was, but the way they edited it, I mean, a lot of people think it's like, it's an excellent example of like, no cuts, like one tracking shot all the way through, all the way up into the hotel, and like,
dude, yeah, that's what I thought.
But I think that's even cooler that they were able to make it look like one shot, yet it was 3, like the subtle editing and all that. But anyway, yeah, it was 3 separate shots, but they fused them together. So I like that kind of that viewpoint.
I like that a lot too.
So that was super cool. Had a lot going for it. The helicopter scene was pretty cool.
I wonder if that's where you got the idea for 1917. Like, let's just make that first scene the entire
whole
movie.
Yeah. Dude, have you seen some of those rigs that they built for the camera to on those like it's like on a gimbal thing, so it's like perpetual like dope angle, and then they had it like on like a quad skeleton that was like super wide and like these big ass mud tires and everything like articulated. I remember one scene that they were like a behind the scenes of that. It was like a pretty treacherous like stretch of like hilly and rocky shit, and there's like hundreds of extras running, like shit's going off, and it shows it that thing kind of go in this little gully thing, and the camera's all swiveling and shit. It's like, that's pretty fucking cool, man.
Yeah,
a lot goes into like making all that shit like fuse together. So much going on. But so from a technical standpoint, and I was like, yeah, this is cool, but it lost me pretty quick with Batista and the eye gouging. I was like, it feels like it's throwing back to kind of some of the more gimmicky, because I don't think up until this point they didn't really have like a big gimmicky like villain or like underboss, like sub boss type dude.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, the Sheaf had like a thing about him, a characteristic, but it's not like he used like he uncovered his bleeding eye had acid in it and he could use it as a fucking weapon. Like,
yeah,
I thought
he wasn't an Inspector Gadget villain.
Right. Yeah, like I didn't like Batista's like metal thumbnail gouging the dude's eyes out.
Oh man.
Yeah, and Christoph Waltz too. I was pretty disappointed. Like, I don't know how much I would blame him or what he had to work with, his material, but I just thought he was a weak ass villain. Was not intimidating.
So I liked his intro when you first meet him, and he like
that part's creepy. He's in the shadow.
And that's cool. But then after that, it's like this guy was also, I have the same opinion, like just not very scary. Like he's just kind of like a computer guy, you know.
Yeah. Coming off Silva too, like being such a badass, that's a hard act to follow too, because he's kind of got his own way about him, but he's so there's an unknown about him, like that Waltz's villain doesn't have. So
well, and he also
that's
had
a unfair comparison, but
and at least for me, it seemed like he had a clear purpose, whereas Christoph Waltz in this one, it was like you're doing all this stuff like to do it, but also to get back at Bond. Like it seems like he was kind of split between. I didn't really buy either one of the explanation, and so I guess it kind of goes back to, well, this was also a fun little Austin Powers thing where, when Dr. Evil's son is like, you always put him in a room with one inept guard and do some elaborate way of killing him. Just kill the guy and he gets away every time. Yeah. You know, so when he started doing the like needle stuff in his face, like just kill him, please just kill him if that's how you really want to do this. But exactly. So in the beginning, I don't know how much of a synopsis you want to do, but after he goes to Mexico and kills that guy, he reveals to Moneypenny that he had been left a posthumous message from what's her name? And
Emma.
Yeah. She's like, go here and kill this guy. No explanation why. And then it turns out
don't miss the funeral.
Yeah. Oh, this is just the guy who's in charge of this huge criminal enterprise that I never felt the need to mention to you when I was alive, even though I apparently know all about it. But
and this, like later on, I found out that it makes perfect sense, like why I hate it, and a lot of people do too. But I guess before this film for sure, but I don't know where it happened during the production or after Skyfall, but MGM, the owner of a lot of Bond shit, they were finally able to get the rights. I don't know what other studio it was, but they were, I guess, the rights for the villain of Blofeld and his whole line that was played by Donald Pleasance way back in the old ones. So like the dude that it looks like Mr. Evil, that's like who they're parodying pretty much. He's always wearing like a light gray or like a silver like weird tunic fucking thing, and he has that scar on the eye, bald head, the whole nine. That's who they lifted Dr. Evil from. Some other studio had them. So that's why, and I think the people doing the Craig run of the Bond series, that's why they introduced Quantum, the Quantum organization in Quantum of Solace, as the stand-in for Spectre, because they didn't have the rights to Spectre and Blofeld, all that whole storyline, everything tied up in it. They couldn't use those names and shit. So, then they got it after the fact, so it feels kind of like horseshoed. Like they were like, okay, fuck Quantum, all that shit we set up. That's just another organization. This is the organization of organizations, Spectre. Right. This is, let's go here. So I think a lot of that has to do with because they didn't know they were going to have that back with Judi Dench. So that's why it feels kind of like, shoehorned in on that.
Yeah.
That's in retrospect after many, this is now researching for this episode. I learned a lot of stuff that I don't know if it doesn't make me like the film anymore, but I cut it a little bit more slack for I think it was just mishandled at the end of the day. The production, it was also a super speedy production. I found out they usually spend 2 to 3 years total on a Bond film. And this one they did in 1 year, shot to cut, final cut. And there's a lot of shit going on in this film.
The budget was $300 million. That is insane.
Yeah. So they were doing stuff in parallel, having a second unit director go direct the shit in Mexico while they're in the Alps doing all the snow shit. And some people have speculated, how involved Sam Mendes actually was with this film, because he's not doing it from beginning to end, and all of his fingerprints are on, and
just chunks.
You're having different teams ostensibly shoot a third of this movie.
Well, I hope he had nothing to do with that god awful plane chasing the car. That was so painful.
That's actually kind of where it pulled me back a little bit.
Oh man, you suck.
Hold on a second, we got a technical difficulty here. So we're talking about snow and the plane.
So you don't think that French gal is much more attractive than old Bellucci? I assume she's French. Her name sounds French.
The Léa Seydoux?
Yeah. I think she's a dime piece.
She's pretty good looking. I kind of like your, what is it, with frizzy hair that you don't
Curly hair? Yeah.
There's something about a gap or even a slight gap in a front tooth like that just kind of makes me go a big rubbery one.
Have you seen those Revlon commercials with that British chick who's got that fat gap in her teeth and she's like, get the Revlon look. It's if that's a Revlon look, I don't want any fucking part of that.
All right, sorry about that, guys. Am I back? Am I good? It says I'm recording.
Yeah, it says recording. We're still recording, so yeah, we should be good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I mean, she's a good looking woman, but if I had to take her versus Monica Bellucci, the gap tooth is what differentiates for me.
Fair enough.
Also, she seems very I don't want to sound like a fucking Captain Sabaho or something, but she seems very young and having a daughter now and knowing she's Mr. White's daughter, and then fucking how the storyline with Bond is I'll protect her, I'll fuck her, yeah. She's half my age. She looks like she's 22 or 23. It's kind of, I'm just
my problem was she's fucking translucent. So
her skin?
Yeah.
She is pretty pale. I mean, she is the Pale King's daughter, so.
Fair enough. Hey, live it up. Really got into character.
Yeah. Turning into Ed Helms in The Hangover when he's talking to his wife, and he's like, "That's somebody's daughter up there."
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not white knighting anything. It's just preference deal.
And she's not that young, I don't think. I don't think she's very young in this.
I just think of her that way, I guess. But because she's
as a father. as a father.
Let me tell you.
I mean, Daniel Craig and Mr. White, they look pretty close in age, you know. So.
Yeah.
She was born in 85.
Oh, okay.
Oh, word.
Born in 85, dickhead. That's a chop.
I almost just said that.
I'm 25, dickhead, and that's a chop.
Douche.
God.
I forgot how drunk he nailed that like that annoying drunk fucking shithead. Okay. I think we left off you railing on.
We derailed when you were talking about how much you love the plane with the shorn off wings.
Oh yeah.
Able to keep up with a car.
What don't you like about? I don't want you guys like about dude Batista. I got written down here. I love Batista as the fucking that like underlying boss. No fucking lines in the movie. Just goes around, just a big thick fuck, dude. Just like just crushing fucking heads. I loved that. I was like, yes, that is a sub boss. That's perfect.
Something about his like little smirk he had because he had no lines a couple times. I'm just like, all right, Batista, but I actually like that dude now. I like him.
Dude, he went
Blade
into
Runner 2049.
Yes, he went from that. And
he's gotten into a lot of shit.
Got a nice little branch off.
Yeah,
I also was kind of irritated by the look of him, but I think it's because the only thing I can recognize him from is that abortion of a movie, Knives Out 2, which is so bad.
Yeah.
Was he in the first Knives Out?
No.
Thankfully.
Yeah. I have not, and I've stuck to my gun.
Knives Out was dope.
The first one was good. The second one was horrific.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I'm cool.
I was actually pretty cool off the first one. I was like, I think there was a lack of shit out, and people went and saw it during Thanksgiving, and we're like, "Oh, it's great!" Saw it with the family. It's like, oh, it was garbage.
And you just shouldn't. I learned the hard way going and watching fucking Anchorman 2, and I just I watched it in theaters, and it's like even because I was kind of younger, you know what I mean. But I remember coming out of that and being like, if you just really like the first of something that just was clearly lightning in a bottle, don't fucking go spoil it by watching this other shit. Like, I refuse to watch Joe Dirt 2. Never watched it. Won't do it.
Same with Zoolander. I just won't.
Yep, Zoolander 2. Didn't watch it. I'm cool.
Nope.
Hard pass.
Yeah.
The new Coming to America. Nope. Sorry.
Fuck. Yeah, that's a hell-worthy trespass, man. I was like, when you're making a sequel to that, don't do it. Although if they came out with Blue Streak 2,
oh, motherfucker, I'm first in line.
I'd be there. A robbery homicide.
I mean, that's like leaving candy around me. I'm gonna chomp it up. You know what I mean?
Oh, fuck.
I didn't want to leave it with Shamu over there. Yeah, I like this playing sequence because I don't know why. I think at this point I was like, I had gone back from, okay, this is dope. This is gonna be we're gonna watch Skyfall 2 right now, and then I was like, I don't like where this is going. It's kind of feeling bloated, and then this was a pretty wild ass scene, but yes, laughable, highly unlikely, like So,
dude, I really like the growth of Q and Bond's relationship in this movie.
Q is a bright spot for me, for sure.
Dog, the best joke out of all the fucking movies is his nerdy ass when he said, I do believe I said bring it back in one piece, not bring back one piece. I just fucking died, dog. I could watch that part over and over, bro. And that shit is hilarious.
Yeah, totally. That was actually a pretty spot on cue, man. Well done.
That shit is so funny.
Yeah, because you can see like how much of a kick he's like. He's on the 4th of July, and then like Bond's just like, all right.
Oh yeah, dude. They get together. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, he is a bright spot. I like that actor, and I like this is the first time a Q has ever had to like deal with any kind of danger. I thought that was kind of neat. Doing the whole the gondola kind of misdirect shit.
Yep.
So I mean, I like and what's up with this office out in the fucking middle of nowhere? Like it felt very weird.
You talking about the headquarters?
No, like where he goes to after he sees Mr. White and it's like, I'm gonna bone your daughter and protect her. And
well,
it
seems like a weird combo of exclusive ski resort, but also, like one of those Malibu detox centers, like elite medical facilities. It was a strange combo of both.
Dude, there's some funny shit from that part too. When he goes to get the drink, he's like, "We don't serve alcohol, sir."
And then Q's like, "Oh, he'll have a whatever the fuck, julep," and then he makes it for me. He's like, "Pour that down the drain. Just cut out the middleman."
Do me a favor, yeah.
All right, so. I actually, to break this up a little bit, I found a quote by Pierce Brosnan, which I thought was pretty interesting. I think he's kind of on par with like Steve and I's opinion. He just says it in like a way nicer, like British way, but like the way he describes his take on Spectre, I'm like, that's pretty much 100% how I feel. He said, I was looking forward to it enormously. I thought it was too long. The story was kind of weak. It could have been condensed. Just went on too long. It really did. It's neither fish nor fowl. It's neither Bond nor Born. Am I in a Bond movie? Not in a Bond movie. He gives some praise to Daniel Craig. I think he found a great sense of himself in this one. Yeah, just get a tighter story and he'll have another classic. I think the guy was fairly banjaxed by playing it.
What?
He says he said just get a tighter story and he'll have another classic. I think the guy was just fairly banjaxed by playing it. I think like flummoxed or just like ran through the ringer or something. It's a super British. But yeah, I saw that. I was like, that's a pretty badass word. Banjaxed. Banjaxed. By the time you finish making a Bond movie, you don't want to hear the name, see the name, or have anything to do with it because you just want it to go to ground. Give him another year off here and he'll be ready to rock and roll for sure.
Oh, that's right. Because after this one is when Craig was like, never again, right?
Yeah.
I think this was the one where after this one, he was like, yeah, fuck no.
Maybe that was when the quote, you remember, Steve? Like he said something like, I'd rather
I would rather break a wine glass and cut both of my wrists open than do another Bond movie.
I think that was that. Yeah. I could be wrong.
Then they wrote him a check.
Yeah.
He got cheesed up, as you'd say, for No Time to Die, didn't he?
Yeah. Draped up and chipped out. You know what I mean?
Then he was all at 6s and 7s.
I guess one thing that's different too in this film, or it's also a callback to some of the older, like that the Spectre era, is the merger with MI5, and they're bringing in, I think it's like the Joint Security Services or something like that. But they introduced this dude, Max Denby, who is called C, and I was interested to see your take on this because I know in some of the old ones, like the Chief, they called him C for Chief,
right?
But they don't introduce this guy as a chief of anything. He's just like the head of this fucking shadowy security outfit or whatever that's gonna like be calling the shots now. And I like how Bond is like, oh, okay, I'll call you C, or and then he's like, oh, you don't have to call me that, Max is fine. He's like, no, I think I'll call you C. And so like some people have said, like reading between the lines, like he's just calling him a cunt.
Like, that's what I thought.
Is that what you picked up? Okay, that's what I picked up right away too. Like,
I mean, not at
like,
the time,
very
but
good
kind
stuff.
of in hindsight.
The old see you next Tuesday, dude. He was letting him
I thought
have it.
their little back and forth though was kind of funny too, because he tries to dig back at him, and he's like, "Hey, my door's always open for all my employees." Like,
Yeah,
saying I'm calling the shots on you, Bucko.
Yeah, it's me now, dog.
So he's kind of like a side like villain, if you like, and he's not in cahoots specifically with Spectre or.
I thought he was.
Is he? Do they spell that out? Okay.
Yeah.
I must have glossed over that. So, I mean, he's the one like with the real like power at the end of the day. It seems like, for his, head of this octopus that Blofeld's supposed to be. I mean, he just played it real weak. I left a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, I like what you're kind of on, like you're talking about. I thought you were going to go down more like they pulled out a lot of gems from the old stuff, right? From like Blofeld to his fit to where he's at, like that whole aspect of it was cool. And I kind of got the sense that that's what we're going back to, right? Because I believe this is the first one that literally it starts off like the old ones. You get the bullet, right? It's the only one that has the bullet sequence in the beginning.
Yep.
You get it's like the previous one ended with the Bond will return next and woo, and then he comes in, you get that shot. And then you find out that, it's Blofeld and the organization. So it felt, for me, it hit a lot of those kind of like nostalgia bells, I think.
Yeah.
Right. And upon watching it, because it's funny, I watched it with my wife and we were talking about it because we saw it in the theater together. And I was telling her, I was like, I think I've only seen this one like 4 times now that like, all the other ones I've watched a bunch.
Yeah.
But that one I had realized I didn't really watch it like that. And then watching it again this time, other than the intro song, I was like, this is a little bit, it does feel a little short. But I think upon that first watching of it, like I said, it's hitting. You've been waiting for this movie. Everything we talked about in the beginning, we've been waiting for it. It's coming. It's here. It's got this and that, what we wanted. And I was feeling, the good high coming off of it with the callbacks too. So that's, it's just a long rant, I guess.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Yeah. Speaking of
I like that too, because it felt like it was piggybacking, or it was kind of carrying off of Skyfall, because Skyfall was its own thing, but it started to transition with Judi Dench leaving, setting up the male M. You remember the door? You have Moneypenny, like by name, like everything's kind of all set up to where it's like either a reboot or a reimagining, or bringing back those elements and getting away from like the really out there, like some of the ones of Pierce Brosnan's towards the end, like Die Another Day and shit, were like really fucking cornball and like hokey, So I think it was trying to like, get back to, some of the 60s, like the Spectre and like all that kind of stuff, which was cool. But especially now, that's what degrades it for me. Like knowing that they were holding out in hopes of getting the rights to that stuff back. And they to me, it kind of undoes some of the best parts of like the original 3 and everything they set up with Quantum. Sorry. Sure. I know I stepped on something you were about to say, Steve.
Oh, no, it wasn't very important. I was just going to say, I think every Bond movie I've seen, I've hated the intro song viscerally. I like this one. I'm not even
a banger, dude.
I'm not a big Sam Smith fan, but I like this one.
Yeah, he smoked it.
It did not seem forced, like, okay, I've got to get the name of the movie into this dog shit song that I'm writing.
Right.
I liked it.
And the highs to lows, how does that man hit this?
I don't know.
Dude, some of them are pretty insane.
And then he comes in and he just drops it low on him right after. Because this is on. Fucking banger, dude.
It reminded me a little bit of like that Chris Isaac, the fucking I don't want to fall in love. Like the
Mhm.
I want to
Yeah,
fall
I can
like
see that.
just a little bit, but yeah, I don't know. I could go either way on it. What about all the imagery? I know you're a big octopus guy,
Yeah.
John. There's a lot of that shit going on. Some of which was it's like, do you guys know what you're doing with all the tentacle shit
Yeah.
like on the fucking the woman's bodies and shit? Like people are gonna
Dude,
look
that
that
was
up.
I had
And
that noted actually. It's funny you bring that up because all, up until Casino Royale, all of those intros like that had always been like just chicks and tits, and like a gun would pop up and Bond would be here or there, right? Like it was always naked women in those intro songs
right.
for the entire, up until him. And then it was like Casino Royale, no. Quantum of Solace, no. Skyfall, no. And then it was like, oh yeah, here come the octopus tits. Yeah, they were back out there. It was glorious. It was a return. I like that. Yeah, big fan.
Yeah, it felt weird. It was very very tentacly
Yeah,
intro.
yeah. I think it was. I really like the song, but I don't think it was as good as the other ones for sure. The Casino Royale, Skyfall is the best, I think. Casino Royale, then this one, then the other one.
What was that's my least favorite one, the one from
Yeah.
Quantum of Solace, the Jack White shit.
Yeah.
Jack White sucks ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like that one. I can't wait till we get to the next one. I think
the next one's gonna be good.
Yeah, that one's. I think that's my favorite intro is "No Time to Dies." But
Who does it?
Billie Eilish.
Okay.
It's like one of the few songs of hers that like she really like fucking lets it go. Like you really get the range of her voice and like the power on it, because I didn't really know who she was, and then
I'm not 14. I don't really know any of her
she's like
stuff.
she's like the female like mumble core like rap kind of.
Oh,
I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
but she doesn't rap. She just sings like very like quiet in a lot of the songs that I had heard before this, and she has like her own distinct style. In this rendition of the "No Time to Die" intro, she's like belting out like she's got like an actual range of a singer. I was like, oh shit, like that was rad. Anyway, back to Spectre. Oh, another little thing I did like at the beginning is when M's like telling him all the shit he's got to go through, and like, this is what you did in Mexico, and I got to go fucking in front of this whatever in 10 minutes and explain ourselves. And then what's he say? He's like, oh, you're right. You have got a tricky day ahead. Like,
Yeah.
He just gives zero fucks. He's like, very good, sir. Like, just fuck you. Like, I don't give a fuck about you. So yeah, as we get along, so we find out this Pale King guy is Mr. White, who I guess I liked his death scene, like his suicide. It was done well. It's one of the few really well acted scenes, in my opinion, in this whole thing. But it's like they were building him up like he was like behind. I mean, he's behind the curtain on the first one. The second one he gets away. The third one he gets away. Like, he seemed like a more formidable kind of like villain even than Blofeld. Like, and I think that's
like
maybe
a mastermind.
Maybe that's what they were setting up with Quantum and Mr. White. I mean, you think of the Pale King too. It's like it's ready made right there. But so his daughter is like the next main Bond girl that we run with. And what is her name again? I just know her real name is Leia Sadu. What's her name in this? Madeline.
Pretty mid, dude. Pretty mid.
As far as Bond girls go, or your opinion of her?
Yeah. That is one of the weaker spots of the movie for me, for sure. I just the relationship. It's like I don't understand the I don't know. The later on.
I agree. Keep going. I think it's really forced.
When he talks to her, like at the end when we were talking about like the crazy torture scene, and it's like I hate when movies like fucking force feed you the message. It's like I understand you want and we kind of talked about this with the Blade Runner, like when you talk about how when Ford had to go back and he did that version with the narration, right? Because it was like, oh, they were worried people weren't gonna know what he was doing, and that scene felt like that, like the mastermind villain explaining his plan, and then we understand, like we don't need you. He's like, I think the line is, oh, well, too bad. The one person that could love you, an assassin's daughter, gone. And it's like, yeah, no shit. We don't need you. I don't need you to fucking force that down my throat. Like we're watching the movie. I'm with you here. Yes, we understand. This would be a relationship that would work. I don't need you to fucking do that. Like I just, that part really rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah.
Or even
when they treat you dumb, I just don't feel like when they treat you like you're dumb. Like, hey, we know you just watched this, but now we're gonna explain it too. Like, don't fucking do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or when she ran up and was like, "I love you," I was like, "Oh boy, that's a little quick."
And he's all, oh, "I would always recognize those eyes." Get the fuck out of here!
That's hilarious.
Are you my daughter?
Even like it felt kind of like a Vesper pull. Like they're trying to like, okay, let's get Bond his fucking Vesper, like his rider here, and like how they play it off. They have this like really witty, like kind of defensive banter, him and Vesper in the first one on the train, and it's kind of like that with him and Sadu. Madeline, the first time they meet, she's like, "Yeah, we're not gonna fuck. Like, we're not. Yeah, it ain't like that.
I don't have dead daddy issues."
Yeah. and then they're on that train, which that's probably the one scene I did like that kind of battle train with Batista on the train.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that shit was sick.
Like using all the environmental kind of shit that was going on, but it does at the same time feel pretty wild that Daniel Craig would be able to beat him up like in fisticuffs. That dude's just, like you said, he is just like a ball of muscle, like with legs.
Yeah.
But I did like him getting dispatched off like the train with the fucking rope. On
and the kegs
link of kegs going out. That was pretty cool.
And he delivers his one line, dude. Oh, shit.
Yeah, that was like whatever. Silent Bob over here. And then she's like, yeah, I don't like guns and like people who kill for a living and shit like that. And then it's like all of a sudden, like oh shit, like we almost just died. We better fuck.
Yeah.
Right.
Which I guess I can see that. Like just like we need to bang one out because I'm tense.
I gotta get the mind right.
Yeah. Little tip drill. And then after that, be like post nut clarity. She's like, yeah, I don't like you. And then they're like, we're in love.
Yeah.
Like, so that felt very disingenuous, that relationship to me, but we'll see how I feel in the next one. But yeah, I think their whole setup was kind of weird. What was your guys' opinion of him and the mouse when they're in that fucking shitty, where is that? They're in like Tunisia or some shit.
Oh, L'America, wherever that place is. Yeah.
Tangiers.
Tangiers. There you go. What is that? Like Algeria?
It's somewhere over there.
Yeah. But that scene, I was like, what is going on right now? Like when he's sitting in that chair and he's aiming the gun at the mouse and like I don't know why.
I don't know what we're trying to. I don't know what message they were going for there. That is a weird one. And then
in the secret room, like Okay, so did Mr. White just bash through the entire
Every time.
fucking wall? Is there not a door somewhere that you could have used?
Well, even how he discovers it, he's like, "Wait a second!" Like
the
he
mouse
just
went through a wall?
Yeah, dude. He's like smash. Remember, he's going through like the cabinet in the back, and he's like, "Oh, he finds the bottle of booze," and like, they definitely make it seem like he turned the fucking place over.
Yeah,
and then he's sitting in the chair, and it's been hours, and all of a sudden it's in the a mouse runs into a mouse hole, and you're like, "Wait a." I didn't check that wall right in front of me the whole fucking time. All right.
That's right.
And then he gets over there and like discovers it that way. It just seemed like, I don't know.
That's like that Prisoners we were just watching where Jake Gyllenhaal's gone over everything in the case and he throws his like temper tantrum point in that movie and he like bangs his fucking keyboard and everything and the case files go flying and they happen to like fall at an angle where he looks at it and he's like, oh wait, what? And it's like a key like development in the story in the case, and he just happens upon this like this little glimmer. It feels kind of cheap when movies do that to you.
Well, and then he like pours the liquid and it goes in there. Like, oh yeah, that's
gotta be it.
Double confirmation that gravity goes this way. So I mean, it couldn't just be a hole in the wall. It must be a room.
Yeah.
Before we get off this, you've watched True Detective, right? Both of you guys, season 1?
I've seen
season 1.
Dude,
I've only watched season 1.
To me, that is that's like the best example of how to break a case in a long, like when they're doing the whole file study and when they discover like those two pouring through all of those pictures and drawings. And then they talk about the fucking house painting and then the green-eared monster. He has it all on the board.
Yep.
Like that was like, that's to me how you do in movies and shows. That's how you get the discovery there. Not fucking, wait a second. Now I see it. Like that's just, you know what I mean? Like that way was perfect.
Yeah, exactly. And I like how that in that season of True Detective, they even kind of dangle some things. So like you think about it later, like I think it's episode 3 or 4 when Rust actually goes up to the killer, the Yellow King, that one day and asks him for like directions, and you're like, oh shit. It's like, you get the retrospect too. Like, oh shit, dude, they had him the whole time. It was right there. And all the shit transpires over time. Like from that point, like, it's like, damn.
Yeah. Man.
That's a good call. That is a perfect example of like showing, not telling, like right in your face kind of thing.
Totally.
What else is good at like that? I liked David Fincher with Daniel Craig actually too. The girl with the dragon tattoo is fucking does it perfectly, like show don't tell. Like you're following along watching them like discover shit and like investigate, and it's really satisfying on that front if you get a kick out of that kind of thing. But good call. So where are we at in this point in the story where they're like, okay, we're thick as thieves, Madeline and Craig, and then what the fuck happens here when they get and in the background he's like having fucking Q do the shit with the ring, like analyze it, who's Franz Oberhauser, and like trying to figure out who's like the head, who is this guy who's behind Spectre, like the real big bad boss.
So they find his base in the desert, and that's why they're on the train.
Oh, right. Okay, and they get found out, and so this is a really contentious part to me too. And I remember watching it and then it lingered with me throughout the rest of the movie. And this is fast forwarding a little bit too, but like when Blofeld is explaining his fucking rig, his lobotomy machine, and all of that. And then he uses it successfully on Bond. It goes into his fucking brain, and he's sitting there. He gets fucked up for a long time before the whole watch MacGuffin like or Chekhov's gun, whatever the fuck that device is, to like miraculously get you out of the situation in this convoluted fucking villain plan. Like, so that happens. I'm like, oh, well, he's fucked up. He doesn't know anything now. Like, he's done. Like,
Right,
even though they're like, I was like, how are they gonna explain this? I was thinking, okay, I'll buy this if you give me like, oh, there's a serum for it, or there's an antidote, or if you do this, you know, you'll come back, because it's a fucking Bond movie. You can't just kill him and make him a potato and like he doesn't know anything. He doesn't. It's like, that's clearly not going to happen. So give me something plausible. They don't. What pissed me off, because I was like, are they going to explain all the way to the end of the movie? It's like, shouldn't he not know what the fuck to do or who these people are because of the machine that went into his brain?
Thought I had about that is it's clearly explained to him, right? Like Blofeld fucking tells him. He walks up to him, points to him, and goes, right here, I'm gonna drill in and you'll blah 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 blah. Yeah. And like, this definitely is never explained to you. I think this is me just shooting the movie lots of bail. But I was like, you know, if that's the case, you know, maybe like when he seen it coming in, he turned his head a different way. Like he didn't let it come in where he fucking touched him on the. So it's like, it's coming in and he's like, oh shit, I know it's right there. All right. You know what I mean? Let it go in at a different angle or something. But
that's what I thought too, because I thought he even came up and touched him like, this is where you're whatever.
Right, he's like right here. Yeah.
He's like, oh, okay. So when it's coming in, I kind of thought he just was like,
right.
Took it somewhere else that probably hurt like shit. But yeah, they all, like you said, they didn't explain
right into some
it.
Muscle in your neck.
Yeah.
I mean, because you were talking about when they spoon feed you this information, you would think it would show him like turn a little bit to deflect it, to put it somewhere. Right. But yeah.
Some kind of camera shot.
Yeah. Nope.
Yeah. So then it comes across as like lazy because you're, like you say, you're spoon feeding, but then this seems to be a pretty key point here and you just gloss over it. And then I think kind of fast forwarding a little bit to like what really disappointed me, which it like on paper, it should sound dope. The way he and Madeline fucking abscond and get out of this mega lair, supposed to be the most secret fucking badass motherfuckers, and like all the people security, there's 39 people with machine guns, 50, 60. I don't know
just
how
shoot
many
one gas
kills.
tank.
Yeah, and it's too easy for him.
Yeah.
It's like, this is not like, it should be dope. Yeah, he's just fucking boom, 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 killing people, shooting from the hip, one hand fucking like machine gun. And then the way I did like at the end how those two guys are at distance and he flips the fucking the stock back and goes dot dot. That was kind of cool. That's all I'm gonna give it. But it's just like, yeah, and then he's like, oh, here's the fucking the main reactor gas tank thing that controls the entire place, or that's gonna feed in. Boom, one shot. This whole thing blows up. Oh, here's a chopper right here for us. I just took out 70 people, blew up this whole thing. We're out. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, that sounds like a Saturday morning cartoon, like
for sure,
all wrapped up. Like it pissed me off. I was like,
well, yeah, it's like,
because it didn't feel like there were any stakes. Like,
it's a 2.5 hour movie, and now it's like you're like, all right, let's just kind of speed it up and get to the end. Like, where was this brevity earlier on?
Yeah. That's another big knock too. What is this? 2 hours and 35 or 2 hours and 40?
2:28, I think, something like that.
Yeah. Again, I don't think it would make me enjoy it significantly more, maybe, but it would have been a better, tighter, more entertaining if they lopped off 20, 30 minutes, probably.
Yeah.
Could do that easily, I think. Yeah. That just whole scene, just like, I was like, what the fuck was that? I was like, he just went in he had the invincibility star from fucking Mario and just bodied everyone, and we're back in London now. And then Blofeld makes it back, and then we're in London. It's just like bang bang.
Right, he's there, and they've had the building rigged, and
okay, here's the real shit. And it's like, I mean, it could have won me back if this scene would have been dope too. Like if it would have been fucking cool. maybe I would forgive some other stuff, but I don't know. It's like when he leaves him the choice to go, like this whole
Save her.
Go save her. How big is this fucking place? I mean, pretty fucking huge, and like he just gets her, and they go, and he runs over a couple like open pits where he'd fall like 50 feet or whatever, but he basically just runs through a building and gets her, and then they get out, and then he takes down a fucking helicopter
into the net. Like
they free fall.
Yeah, that was that was like
there?
7,000 foot drop. No, it's probably like 100, maybe 200.
But why would there ever be a net there?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, it was MI6. Maybe he knew like that was the training, or like that was Q's quarters where there was a like specifically placed.
That's the net room.
Yeah, it's where they practice net.
It's where we do netting.
I thought they were just going to jump into the water.
Yeah.
Even that,
I wanted a better final confrontation.
Yeah.
With M and C. I thought that was going to be. I really wanted something better than that. Like it was cool, and he talks shit to him, but because that's like that's M's villain essentially. You know what I mean? Like Bond has got Blofeld and
they're the two goalies that meet up on center ice. They're like, okay.
And I don't know. I thought it was kind of whack. Like it was like he had his bullets, right? And then he tells him, another kind of callback to Casino Royale, right? He's like, "Oh, I got your bullets here, asshole." And then he just knocked like glass gets shot down, and he just falls off the top of the fucking. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I just was like, I thought it was going to be a little more, because I like Ralph, man. Ralph is a G. I wanted to see some more action shots with Ralph, man.
Yeah, he's a good actor. Yeah, I agree with all that. And then, I mean,
he is a former badass, like his character, right? Like, so it'd be cool because now he's like a pencil pusher, but it'd be cool for him. It would be cool for him to be like, oh yeah, I'm still fucking badass. I'll show you. Still got it. I'll show you why, the 00 agents are still valuable versus you computer dorks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck you up.
Yeah.
They had to man up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and prior to the final scene with Bond and Blofeld, I hate to be ticky-tacky when it comes to like gun shit, but to be able to shoot down a helicopter with a handgun from a boat from, I don't know, 1,000 yards away.
Yeah.
That is so unreal, even for this hokey ass horse shit.
Yeah. Well, dude, and I think he only did it in 2 clips, right? I mean, it's like,
yeah, this whole part, I was like, Jesus Christ. I was like, okay, so they're trying to set it up like he's got the magic, he's got the Bond shit back, because look what he just did at the compound.
Right, right.
He was just like, there was a couple points where he just turned and he just like waved the gun and shot 3 people at range, like 100 yards away. This lackey, and it's like, aren't those dudes supposed to be probably pretty badass?
Top trained, I would imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's like, oh yeah, okay, he's got it back. So this chopper and the handgun, fuck yeah, you can take it down.
Dude, and I forgot. I have it written down. I forgot about that scene in way back when they go to the compound. We were talking about when he first picks up Madeline, right? And she's like, "Security's going to escort you out of here." And then he's like, "All right, man, whatever." And then they're walking him out, and then he sees him grab her, and he's like, "Oh shit!" And he turns around, and the security guard goes, "Hey!" And he fucking smacks that one dude, knocks him out, and the other guy's looking at him. He's all, "Don't."
Yeah.
Just fucking don't. And the guy's like, "Oh, all right, man." And then that shit was so badass. I liked it. Bond's a G, dude. So, you know what? Fuck it. He could shoot down a helicopter. You see what he did. Dude. Fuck that.
Oh.
What did you score on your marksmanship evaluation?
70.
40.
I mean, even when he's in the plane flying next to the car and she's in the back seat and he just starts unloading on the car, like, dude, you're gonna fucking kill her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? That gun was kind of neat that Batista had, the double barrel.
Is that real?
I don't know. Is it? I was going to ask you. Have you ever seen
You're the
anything
gun
like that?
guy, dude. We're asking you.
I don't know. It seems rather impractical.
Asked and answered.
Nice.
Yeah. So fuck this movie. I think it kind of tarnishes like the goodwill and like the everything set up 1 through 3. So Casino Royale through Skyfall, it's definitely a misstep. And I mean, it's been out 8 years now. This was my third watch of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think the first time I watched it in theater, I was like, yeah, fuck
Yep.
that made me mad. And then I watched it a couple years later and I just had it on the background. This one I was actually really invested, like fucking let's watch it, looking at some of the background stuff about it. And so I guess at the end of the day too, though, I'm not giving it a pass or anything, or I wouldn't upgrade my personal score, but I understand now with like this shit behind and like the studio stuff that was going on.
Yeah. I had never heard that before.
There was a lot of things going against this being a good film, I think, or being able to make it like satisfying for folks coming off of Skyfall and everything before it. So,
well,
whatever.
It's not an excuse, but it's an explanation. So,
yeah. But I mean, overall, I mean, there are some scenes I enjoyed. It is a Bond film at the end of the day.
It's got some good typical Bond stuff for sure.
Yeah. It just sucks that they dumped that fucking much money into this. I can't believe $300 million.
Yeah.
I saw in a report later they like clarified it. It was like, actually, it only cost us $250 million.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, much better.
That's so nuts. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to talking about the next one too, because I feel like it salvages and yeah, not to get too far into that. It's tempting. Cool. So we touched on it a little bit earlier. You said initially no, but it's teetering on if I guess I'm doing yes and no, which is pass or fail. So do you feel comfortable giving this a pass score, Steve?
Yeah, I would give it a pass. I mean,
okay.
I still enjoyed it. I was just really disappointed because I thought it could have been so much better.
Right.
With all of the elements that went into it.
Fair. Yeah, I think I'm a little less forgiving, but I'm kind of right there. So that raises our approval rate from an 85 to an 85.4%. So
hey, that's a nice clip.
We'll chalk it up as a win.
I will say that I went to look up my shitty, cunty favorite review of the movie, and there were so many bad reviews that it was almost like insurmountable to try to find a shitty one. because all the bad reviews I saw were very well thought out, critical, like intelligent. My favorite bad reviews are the ones that are like irrelevant to the movie, or just like someone who's angry about something who doesn't matter. Like one of my favorite ones was the guy who criticized Jennifer 8 because they used a body double for Uma Thurman's tits, which has nothing to do with anything.
Well, he really wanted to see Uma's tits, dude. That's bullshit. He got
Yeah. But there were so many bad reviews that were good. I couldn't even come up with one that was bad, but I did stumble across a lot of reviews that I think were for the next movie, because they seem to reveal a big spoiler for the end of the movie, which I don't want to bring up on here for obvious reasons, but that might have blown the end of the next movie for me.
That sucks, dude. I hope not.
Yeah,
Fuck.
Yeah, I hope not too, but
yeah, based on your reaction, I think it's probably accurate what I saw. But I was so confused that I thought maybe they had changed the ending to Spectre because it was probably so poorly received. So I did some Googling, like, did blank happen at the end of Spectre? And it came up like, you mean the ending of No Time to Die? Or,
fucking asshole.
man.
Dan Marino should die of gonorrhea and rot in hell.
Word.
Would you like a cookie, son?
Damn it.
Damn.
I feel like that gif of Ryan Gosling in Blade Runner 2049 when he finds out, or when he thinks whatever, and he's all, God damn it!
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Well.
All right. Well,
try and erase it from your mind.
Yeah.
Neuralize yourself.
Yeah, it's probably not true, whatever you read.
Yeah. Several times.
Stupid. Dude, have you
imagine putting a negative movie review on the wrong fucking movie? Jesus Christ.
Here's a wild tangent I just thought of because it made me think of John Leguizamo. Have any of you guys seen what is it called? It's with Jesse Eisenberg. I think it's called American. What the fuck? What is it called? I gotta look it up now.
I don't know. I don't like that guy though.
I don't either, but I like John Leguizamo, and he's in it, and he has a bit role.
Yeah, I like him.
Oh, American Ultra from 2015. John Leguizamo plays like this paranoid dude, and he says something about a neuralizer. He's like, hell no, you can get all these Area 51 agents up in here and neuralize me. And then he's like, no, but Bubba, and he's like, like, shit's so fucking funny. I actually have one that I think would be fun. This is a super positive review of Spectre that I just think is batshit crazy.
The opposite way. Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
So this is a 9 out of 10. The subject or the title is You Know His Name.
Yeah, you know it. All right.
Dark Vulcan 29 says
Sick.
James Bond, Daniel Craig, infiltrates a criminal organization known as Spectre, but soon discovers he might have a bigger connection to it than he thinks. Daniel Craig once again knocks it out of the park as James Bond, but in this one he is a little bit more loose than he was in the last ones. Characters M, Q, and Moneypenny are given more to do this time than just being side characters. But Christoph Waltz really is who grabs you as the main bad guy. When he's on camera, you feel the chills going down your spine. He just has a menacing presence. Dave Bautista is also good in the role as the main henchman. Action scenes are all right, nothing too spectacular. Bond girls are all right, just kind of there. These are moments there are moments that it does pay homage to the other Bond films, but it stands on its own. It's like it doesn't seem that high on it.
No.
In the back half, yet he gave it a 9 out of 10. But yeah, just like the characterization of Christoph Waltz as someone who grabs you as the main bad guy and feel chills going down your spine.
You didn't feel them chills, dude?
No. Nope. Maybe a slight tingle at the beginning when in that boardroom and he's all shadowed up and he fucking...
Yeah, that scene is so sick.
When he turns, he's like to James, and calls him out. Like, I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, and that dude walks up, Mickey Mouse. Yeah.
Yeah. And how... That part kind of got me too. It's like, all right, punch this dude in the face, jump out the window, hop in my car at the most secure, should be like the most secure, shadowy, secret motherfuckers. Have 8 snipers.
Emergency meeting.
Yeah, like, okay, but whatever. Yeah, so I disagree with that. All right. Any final thoughts, or is there anything, John, you can think of that we maybe glossed over? Scenes, things that you liked, didn't like? Steve, any final thoughts your way as well?
No, I guess if I had one more criticism, it would be when he's fighting that guy in the helicopter in the beginning, and he looks down and sees the ring. Like, this must be significant. Like, that just looks like a ring to me, but
Yeah.
And then when they do the processing on it, they find DNA or whatever the fuck of all these bad guys on it.
Yeah. Well, they have like super DNA tracing technology.
Totally.
Q does, but no, yeah, I thought that too. I was like, wait, so he didn't know anything about a ring, or I need to be looking out for a ring. He just happened to notice it while he's going upside down corkscrew helicopter hand to hand foo.
Well, yeah, and can you also imagine?
Oh shit, there's a ring. That should be important. I'll grab it.
Well, and also, can you imagine if you're fighting the guy in the back of the helicopter to then turn and also start fighting the pilot at the same time? Like, leave the pilot alone. Jesus Christ.
He's like the
I'm going to fuck
Russell
you up
Crowe
too
in
at
the
the same
South Park
time.
episode. Well, you want to fight about it?
on Russell Crowe.
Only thing I have is that other quote. I think my other favorite quote in the movie is when Mr. White tells him, he's like, "You're a kite dancing in a hurricane."
You're a kite, Mr. Bond.
Yeah.
Flying through a hurricane.
So long.
Yeah.
I like that quote.
That's a pretty it puts you right there. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
sure.
it was it's a good movie. I like it because
So you stand by it?
I think I don't like it as much as when I first watched it.
Okay.
But I'm also I'm pretty I told you guys, for me a movie's really got a shit the bed. Like I just got so turned off by that asshole that I can't let movie, like I'm always looking for a movie to be good. I can pull all the good out of a flick. Like I'll probably talk shit about, even I can find a movie I don't like and talk shit about it. But for the most part, it's like, dog, this is for me to run away from life, and it's easy to enjoy. Like I can as long as it's doing its job and pulling me away from my other shit at the moment.
Yeah.
It's doing its job. It's a good movie.
Fair enough.
When it does that.
Okay. Let's say up to this point, what do you have a ranking of just Craig Bonds?
Yep. I would go Casino Royale first, Skyfall, Spectre, Quantum of Solace. In that order.
Steve Dogg?
Yeah, I think I would have to go. I think I like Skyfall a little bit more than Casino Royale.
Bang!
But then the bottom two is tough because Quantum of Solace was kind of just a big nothing.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it was fine, but it was only like an hour and 45. No, I didn't hate it. It was pretty forgettable.
Yeah.
But Spectre
that villain just sucks ass, bro. God, that villain is trash.
Dude, he's so forgettable.
His googly ass eyes.
I don't even remember him.
He's like a lizard, man.
But I feel like Spectre needs to be punished.
Yeah.
I don't know. I liked Spectre more, but I think it's because it should have been better. I would put it a flea's dick ahead of Quantum of Solace. But
I'd love to hear it.
But if Quantum of Solace would have been 2.5 hours and Spectre would have been an hour and a half, I would have flipped those two in a heartbeat. So
yep.
Word.
You get that.
All right.
What about you, G Baby G Funk era?
I'll go Skyfall, Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, Spectre.
Yep. I figured.
But just in addition, I will say I really like the cinematography and like the film grain and the look of Spectre a ton, like from a technical aspect. I was thinking if somehow you could graft that onto the color palette, the grain of the film and everything in Quantum of Solace, and maybe kind of smooth over some of those cuts How it's real choppy, like that intro car chase scene, like just real disorienting. I don't know what I'm trying to say. It'd still be better.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get what you, yeah.
I just think it would be much better. So I would say the bottom 3 and 4 are pretty interchangeable, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Totally.
Which is interesting though too, because I guess I was reading Roger Deakins, who did Skyfall, the cinematography. The guy we talked about on a previous episode. We went through a litany of all the shit he shot, like Shawshank Redemption, all this crazy shit, Blade Runner 2049. He did not do Spectre, which if you would have told me that, I would have said, "Oh shit!" Like I would have thought it was him for sure, because it had that same kind of look, like real clean, classy. And which another thing I didn't realize, Skyfall was shot all in digital, and then they jumped back to 35 millimeter to shoot on actual physical film in Spectre.
Oh wow!
So
why?
I guess there is something to be said for.
Why do you think they do that? Do they think it looks better, or are they just trying to waste more money by using film? Or
I have no idea, but I
think 35 is way better.
Yeah, I think it's better quality, and it's more expensive. Whereas digital is supposed to be more efficient, like cutting edge, like easier to use, edit, yada yada yada, and it's cheaper. But you don't. It's kind of like, I guess maybe like MP3s or CDs comparing to a purist listening to something on vinyl. Like, you know how some people say like records are like you lose something, you know, like the fidelity or the warmth and yada yada yada.
Yeah,
I know some real film people are like, oh, it's got to be on film, you know. But I think my credit is to the digital. Like the digital is coming. Like it's gonna get to a point, you know, like with anything, it's gonna overtake that or just be like the same. So why would you ever go back to film because of the increased cost and like the additional work that labor that goes into it?
Because you would think you would be able to
flying by the seat of my asshole.
I mean, you would think that you'd be able to recreate that feeling digitally, right? Like
you would think, yeah,
but maybe not.
That's why I fall back. I mean, that's how I am with like I've heard shit on vinyl and I've heard stuff. To me, I can't discern that fine tuning, you know?
Right.
Whereas some people are like, no, it's got to be on vinyl, which, I mean, I'm sure some of that is nostalgia playing into there too, but I know I've heard it's like some people that are like audio freaks. They're like, no, you lose like something coming off of like the physical, like the fucking record playing with the whatever the fuck that thing is, the pin, that's etching it or whatever. But cool. So that was Skyfall. Or
it was not Skyfall.
Spectre. Wish it was Skyfall. Deuce. That's why another reason
for sure
too,
you
like,
would.
This is the same director too. It's like, why?
I know.
Is it like
it doesn't make sense that it missed for sure.
The valley like that. Like, anyway. What were you gonna say? Sorry.
I thought for sure you would include the Big Fish clip that we talked about before.
Which one?
Where it's Steve Buscemi said, "Roses are red, violets are blue."
Oh yeah.
I love Spectre.
Damn it.
This is why you never show a work in progress. God, I haven't watched Big Fish in mad long. That shit is so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is a good one.
I'm sure the word you were looking for was symbolism. What is the symbolism there?
I have a colloquial corner this week. So I guess we can transition into that.
Yeah, that'd be great because I have some notes on the last colloquial corner.
Oh,
so
shit.
This is good that we're getting into this. I do have some notes from the previous.
Okay.
The colloquial corner.
You want to take us off? You're gonna red pen us here?
Yeah, fucking A, let's do it. I don't know who the other old, angry white dude you had on the podcast was, Steve, going, "What's giving? I don't understand what these kids are talking about." Word, it's not for you, old man. You know what I mean?
That's got to be Naderade.
Yeah, it was one of those two because the Logan was using it. I was like, all right, we young hip kids, Steve is just like, I'm spraying children on the front yawn and I'm not having any of it. It's like, all right, old man, the time is now. Okay. Yeah. It's given. All right. That's what's happening.
Although it's funny,
guy was just right behind him. He's like, yeah, I'm right there with these guys high-fiving in the front yard, dude. Fuck out of here, old man.
It's funny because I don't know this to be true, but I have a sneaking suspicion, and I feel like Naderade is your same age too. I think he's younger by at least a few years than me and Steve for sure. I think I'm the elder statesman, and I kind of play it both ways, 50-50. I'm not as get off my lawn as Steve is, I don't think, but
it's just funny. It's just every time. Well, these damn kids and their slang and their sayings, it's just get out of here. All right, old man, relax, dude. Just chill. Watch your garden, all right, dude?
I got one that I've been seeing a little bit more and more, and I don't think it's super new. I think I'm seeing it. Maybe it's more frequency, but I'm seeing more people say like bitching, moaning about something in the world or whatever, or some kind of like injustice, and then ending with make it make sense. Fucking something seeing about that. I just I don't like it. I don't like it one pit.
Make it make sense.
Yeah, like, oh, there's this going on, da da da. Make it make sense. Fuck you. I don't like it.
That's so arrogant. That's screw off.
Is that something you guys have picked up on recently at all? No?
I haven't heard that one, huh?
Okay.
Definitely
this is mainly
not.
off Twitter. This is where I mine for like the most up-to-date slang that I'm seeing is what I see on Twitter, but
yeah, it's a blessing and a curse, young man, because I'm not in any of the social media stuff.
Yeah,
I don't do those apps.
There's something to be said for it. I've never been
there is for sure
as active after the pod. Like it's the most active I've been, like just promoting the show. So like by virtue of that, like just seeing more stuff, and trying to keep my ear to the ground.
That's right.
As it were, just so I don't get lost. Cause it seems like language is like fucking like picking up and like it's getting quicker, like the turnover of like new shit, So if you don't stay up on it for like 10 or 15 years, you're just gonna be like really fucking lost,
Lost, yeah.
We are getting old. That's what you're saying.
Very old.
The kids.
It's this phenomenon I just don't understand.
The kids now are fucking stupid. Everyone before us has said that, and they were right.
Right. It just gets quicker and quicker.
But it is different though. If you look at the power of like the internet and like social media, like how fucking exponential that is. It's like, it is a really unique thing. Like that, I mean, this isn't a novel idea or anything, but it's just crazy to think like the jumps from like 1950 to 60 or like the 50s to the 80s and then the 80s to now, I mean, pretty soon that's going to be like thinking about the 80s when we were kids. Like that's going to be like the 2000s, like, whoa.
Yeah. The spread of information now is just unreal.
Right. And it's like, I can't remember the term, but you know how computers, like how, like they used to be, I think rated like on how fast a computer used to be able to process. It was like, what was it? Was it like megahertz? It's like, we're so far beyond that. Or like when like dial-up modems were like 14.4 or like 28.8K, and it's just like, it's a fucking joke. like a kid these days trying to like wrap their head around surfing the internet in 1996 would laugh in your face,
right?
Vomit in your mouth, like how ridiculous that is. Like,
yeah, dude.
Like we have 18 tablets and 4 computers and 10 TVs all fucking streaming everything, just like fucking mega power. Like the throttle's just open, wide open. But like how computers like double, like exponential, like processing speed and all that shit. Like it's like what used to take 5 years now takes 3, takes 2, takes 6 months, you know, that kind of thing is like pretty fucking unprecedented, you know? So, yeah. Like, I don't want to sound like an old man again, but I just saw a fucking clip of like a teacher getting heckled off of a bus, and he turns around and flips the kids off because he's at his wit's end, and they're just like the amount of disrespect and like they're just clowning on this teacher. It's like, dude, it's like this is like Lord of the Flies, but they're not on an uninhabited island. They're not marooned. It's like it's just happened. It's starting to happen before our eyes. You know, it's like they don't give a fuck. It's nuts.
Thugs.
Yeah. It's a larger.
It's the thuggish ruggish bomb. Sorry.
Yeah, you're talking about cultural degradation. Parents suck because kids suck because their parents suck.
Yeah. It's a vicious cycle. It's a self-reinforcing negative feedback loop.
Make it make sense.
No, damn you. All right. Looking forward to next week. I don't know what the fuck we're going to do.
Spank your kids.
Spank them.
Yeah. Keep them in check.
Whoop that trick.
Superman that hoe.
He stole my whole fucking flow. Dude, did you guys hear fucking Jamie Foxx is like really
like dying,
fucked up right now?
Yeah.
Is he still alive?
That's what I'm seeing. And then I'm seeing people saying like they're overplaying it. He's not. And then I've seen like he's fucking like flatlining right now. Like he has brain damage, even if he makes it out of this stroke or heart attack or whatever the fuck.
Well, fuck. Hopefully it was a heart attack and not a stroke. Because
I've seen varying things. I've seen people saying it was a heart attack induced stroke, or like he had a stroke or he had a heart attack, something. I don't know. You can't trust anything that's on the news and shit these days. But I was like, how is this like not front page fucking
It's pretty
news
wild
right now?
No.
Yeah, it blindsided me. I was like, dude, are we going to lose Jamie Foxx?
Well, because then I started thinking about it and I was like, damn, I can't. Because he was pretty active, you know what I mean? He was popping up everywhere, hosting this, doing that, you know what I mean? And then it was like...
he's always got something cooking.
Yeah, and I when I heard the information, I was like, oh shit, yeah, I haven't really seen his name out there for shit in a minute.
Yeah, it's weird, because you would think like, you know, Jamie Foxx suffers heart attack or stroke, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
It's like, I just happened to see like prayers for he's still fighting still, and like Snoop Dogg saying this and that. I just saw him. The news is fucking overblowing this. And then other people are like, prayers, he's on his fucking deathbed. Like,
damn.
I don't know. It was wild. I was curious if you guys were up on it, but it caught me by surprise.
Huh. Must have been the COVID vaccine. Anyway.
Right.
Prayers for Jamie Foxx. I saw someone on Twitter post something super funny. It was from like one of those huge mega church, like fucking
like the Joel Osteen.
Yeah, like big, like 1,000 people there, and it was like me showing up outside Jamie Foxx hospital room, and the pastor's up there, and he's like doing the whole like revival, like getting it. He's all wake up, wake up. Like, for real, man. We can't lose Jamie Foxx.
I thought you were gonna talk about the Youngbloods one that you sent me. Oh my god, dude! It's like the same thing. It's like they're all dancing, like the Holy Ghost has gotten. They're all like they're doing like the boot stomp thing.
Yeah,
and it's the young bloods. If you don't give a damn, we don't give a fuck.
Yes,
and
dude.
they're just like,
we don't give a
damn. We don't give a fuck,
dude. Yeah, and it's just they look like they're like some wild ass like sect of Christianity.
Yeah,
and they're
just
doing this weird ass dance,
like,
and it's synced. It's like, dude, it lines up so well. Oh fuck. That's one too. I there was one back in the day I saw that was like that swag surfing song. Swag when I surf and when I surf and swag, I'm on hypnotic, and the bass comes in super heavy, like bopping, and it's like that juxtaposed with like a bunch of Hasidic like rabbis and shit, and they're doing that jump thing. Dude, it just sinks in oh dude, it's so funny.
Dude, there's another one that's the Slayer Angel of Death mixed with like the crazy Pentecostal like possessed people snake charmer.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Running up and down the aisles, like waving their hands in the air and shit.
Yep.
Oh man, dude, I saw one not too long ago too. It was like it's this weird. I don't know if it's like a French bulldog with like spina bifida or something. It looks like a bat demon, and they have it synced up like just running in its backyard to "Raining Blood" by Slayer.
Hell
dude,
yeah.
And it's like perfect. It's just hauling balls to that song. Like it's so fucking funny. God damn. So I don't know what we're going to discuss next episode. We have one thing in the hopper. Yeah. But if there's any topics, maybe not related to a movie, like anything under the sun, wild, high strangeness preferred, let us know. That probably won't serve us for next week because we're supposed to record the same day. Either way, we could bank it. Give us some ideas. What's working, what's not. What do you want to hear? Oh, quick shout out to my brother-in-law, Carl. He liked the last episode. He's been following quite frequently and always drops a line on our Instagram and gives us notes about our shows. We appreciate you supporting the show, Carl.
Nice. Hell yeah. Thanks, Carl.
Yeah.
What was the last one we did? I don't even remember.
We did the Ray Deuce.
Oh, yeah.
He was particularly tickled by the intro drops, which were pretty fun, I might say, myself. The double cheeked up on a Thursday afternoon. Hella ass. Dude, that guy fucking cracks me up. So yeah, surprise episode next week. John, Staring Jon, appreciate you as always coming back on. Do you want to plug your Twitch again real quick?
Yeah, sure. So, twitch.tv/kinetic_onslaught. Hell of a time. Come on by. You'll learn something new, and maybe, I just give away money. So come on by, like the stream, watch it, and maybe you'll win some money.
Sweet. Free money sounds dope.
Yeah, fucking hey, show up. You give me $4.99 a month, and then you get a chance to maybe one day I'll give you some money back. Who knows?
Sweet. Cool. Final thoughts?
That sounds like a Ponzi scheme.
Well, here's the big trick. We don't give any money away. I just play video games. Just come by. Just come by and watch me play video games. All right.
Full disclosure. There is no money.
Yeah. You got me.
Thank you again, John.
Yeah, man. Happy. I'm a little nervous. I know we got only one bond left. It's a good one. It'll be a good time. After that, we'll have to figure out what we're gonna do next.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, this won't be a goodbye. It'll just be see you later kind of dealio. Oh man, that's when I hate too. The send-offs from people. Yeah. Like former coworkers and shit. Like the subject will be like, not goodbye, See you again sometime.
Yeah, from people who
see you down the road
who never intend to see you ever again.
Yeah,
Never.
absolutely not.
Just until we meet again, which is never.
Yeah.
Yep.
All
and if you do see him, it's like in the grocery store, you pretend you didn't.
Yeah.
Dude, my go-to deflection is I just try to like start an argument with my wife. Like if I see someone, if there's someone that I'm like, there's no way I want to talk to this person. It's just like, oh fuck, we got to argue right now. Fuck no, we're not getting that shit. Are you kidding me? This is ridiculous. You know how much money this is? And then as soon as we turn a corner, all right, it's all right, honey, don't worry.
Have you ever considered a real argument or just a fake one? Like, I hate your sister, or
like
that would be some super
this is a good opportunity to get in some shit here.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? The more I think about it, man, that's so good.
Yeah, it works out perfect because anybody that sees you, they're gonna, oh my god, I always thought he did have a temper. Well, now I will stay away. Fucking right.
Oh man, that's like the kamikaze maneuver. Just like I'm gonna suicide bomb this one here.
Yep. Oh shit.
That's bold.
Yeah, it works.
Dude.
It's just you gotta make sure they're on board. You know what I mean? You don't wanna jam yourself up later just to get out of a fucking 30-second situation.
Dude, that's walking on like the edge if I did that and be like, oh yeah, hey, I was just fucking with you. No, we're fighting now.
Yeah. No, it's a real issue now.
That was some real shit. Man. Can I tell that story again real quick about you and dude?
Yes, you may.
I mean, this sounds like a good example of him faking a fight.
Yeah, it does. It does. This is not what happened.
Yeah. What was it? It was, and it's funny too. It was at the Vagina Monologues.
Yep.
And we me and my then girlfriend, current wife, we went. It was for her, like a class or something in college, and she had to go to it. And she's like, "You want to go to the Vagina Monologues with
and
me?"
You were,
I was like, "Yeah."
You were in your suck up dating period.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, yeah, of course. I was going to plan on going anyways, but yeah.
Yeah, totally. I support everything. Yeah, for sure.
Yep. Yeah. So that's where we were. And then old Staring Jon comes in with his old lady, and you're kind of like squabbling, I think, as you come up, and you guys came late, like just a little, like 5 or 10 minutes late, maybe, to the show. So the Vagina Monologue show is going on. People are seated. It's kind of informal. And then you have to do, like, it's a packed house, but there are 2 seats that are like 15 people deep in this row that you have to get to. Dude, I would have had a fucking panic attack if I was in your shoes. Like, you handled this like such a G. I would have had a panic attack. Like, fuck, we're fighting, and I'm like, we're at each other's throat, and I gotta cross through and be like, put on a hat. Oh, excuse me, get through 15 people. And dude, so you guys go to do that fucking walk of shame in front of all these people, and then you notice it's me and my old lady. We know each other, obviously. You turn to us while you're squabbling with your old lady, and she's like shooting daggers, and you turn to us and say, "We're fighting right now."
Sorry, we're fighting.
Yeah. That's still one of my wife's favorite stories. Like that one, like if I'm like in a jam or something, I'll bring that up because it's something she can latch onto and like makes her giggle, or like it's like a way in for me. So
yeah,
that was a gift, actually.
Yeah, well, in that situation, I was just like, this is we were playing who can upset the other one more at the time.
Nice.
And I was like, oh, I got you. Watch this.
Watch me work.
I'll watch this one. Oh, people we know, huh? Sorry about the disruption. We're fighting here.
Oh man, I was like, man, that was such a G'd up fucking move. Like,
that was a long. I dealt with that one for a little bit. Yeah, that one was a tough get back. we got there, but I've dug myself a little hole in that one.
Yeah, that's the best. That's up there with like the when you're just like scorched earth. You're like, fuck it, all bets are off kind of deal.
Yeah.
With the similarly satisfying, at least you didn't overreact about it.
Yeah.
That's up there. Like that's like reaching levels of like just calm down, like
yeah.
That's it. Oh yeah. Well, what's important is that we are just able to relax and communicate effectively.
That is the atomic bomb.
Yeah. That's when you got to mentally know you can feel it right there. It's right there, and you're like, all right, if I let this one fly, I will feel great right now.
Yeah. Yep.
But we'll be dealing with it.
Yep. It's like a night of drinking. Double-edged sword. Worth it. Alrighty. Thanks again, brother. We'll have you on again. This has been us, Spectre. Leave us a rating, review, like, subscribe, whatever the fuck you do. You can reach us at wax@waxingtheporpoise.com. Hate mail is welcomed.
And encouraged.
Socials, Instagram, encouraged. Instagram is @waxingtheporpoise. Twitter is @waxingtheporp. Until next time, we'll see you when we see you, and we'll see you later.
This is your ass, player.